Welcome back, wood lovers. It's Tommy Tonewoods, and this week is Antipodean week. That's right, we are looking at woods from Australia this week, which should be fun. There's been lots of requests for Australian tonewoods, and so we're going to dedicate a whole week to them. And starting off with Acacia melanoxylon. Acacia melanoxylon, a very close relative to KOA. That's right, Tasmanian blackwood, also known as Australian blackwood, and just blackwood. Tasmanian blackwood. So before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping. I've been pulled up in the comments for my mispronunciation of Diospyros crassiflora. I've been pronouncing it Diospyros classiflora, and it's been causing some confusion. So thank you for pulling me up on that in the comments. I believe the gentleman's name was Gonzalo. Yes, so thank you for pulling me up on that, Gonzalo. We are indeed talking about the same species, Gabon ebony, but indeed the correct pronunciation is Diospyros crassiflora, and I wonder how long I've been mispronouncing that for. But no longer, so thank you. This show is just as much about me learning as it is about you guys learning, and yeah, feel free to pull me up on my fuck ups. So anyway, back to this. Acacia melanoxylon. Now that is correct, I hope. Now this is some wood that I got from Phil Conway, who you've heard me mention before, and I think he got it via Curly Pete. And it's a really lovely set. I bought 3 sets of these. One of them is going into a guitar which is going to be going off to Bobby Jarvis down in Brighton. It's currently getting some lacquer, and I'm really excited to get this back. This is a really nice set. It's quite subtle, very nicely straight grained. We've got some really nice kind of honey straw blondes running through there, with some of the brown as well, and a little bit of curl, which is really nice. Now Tasmanian blackwood is in the same family as KOA, and I've actually got some KOA to show you to compare and contrast, because they are very, very similar, and in terms of their kind of specs, things like Janker scale and all this kind of thing, they're almost indistinguishable. I think KOA is just fractionally harder and a little less dense than Tasmanian blackwood. So first of all, I've got some quite subtly figured KOA. This is some beeswing figured KOA, and just to give you a sense, this one is, you know, it's got those kind of purples and oranges and reds running through it. It's a kind of deeper orange. And then I have a slightly more blonde set of KOA, but with more intense figure. So you can kind of get a sense. They're very, very similar. This is your KOA here. This is your blackwood. Let's give it a little listen. Now, it really doesn't feel like, when you pick up Tasmanian blackwood, it doesn't feel like it should have a tap response. It feels like there's not a lot there, but as you can hear, there is a lot going on. Very resonant. I would say it's more resonant than something like mahogany or walnut. And again, I will just compare with some of the KOA that I have here, just to give you a sense. And it's not the fairest of the most scientific of tests, because the pieces of wood are different sizes. This other piece here. This is maybe a touch more kind of low end focused. It's got more of a low end response. Really nice. So Tasmanian Blackwood is actually considered to be an invasive species in some parts of the world where it's been introduced. Its native habitat is southeastern Australia, but it's now found in Africa, Europe, parts of North and South America. Well, let's give it a squirt with the magic spray. Yeah. It's got some gorgeous, gorgeous colour running through that. And just a hint of figure. We've got that really beautiful sapwood on there as well. So a good friend of mine, Rory Dowling of Taran Guitars, is a big fan of Tassie Blackwood. He builds with it a lot, and I asked him for his take on Tasmanian Blackwood, and this is what he had to say. Tassie is the royalty of the Acacia family, with the depth of colour, light-catching ripple and tone that rivals its KOA sibling. So there you go. That comes from Rory of Taran Guitars up in Scotland. He's a big fan. Played a number of his Tasmanian Blackwood guitars and they sound fabulous. One that springs to mind had an Adirondack spruce top, and it was the Mutt's Nuts. Tasmanian Blackwood, kicking off the Antipodean week. And tomorrow I think we're going to look at, we'll leave it as a surprise, but I've got another guest Luthier quote for you, and I hope you will look forward to that. Acacia melanoxylon. See you tomorrow.